Pregnancy is like having a group project and your partner leaves you halfway through and then you get blamed because you're the only person who showed up for class. Stay tuned. All right, welcome to another episode of Haire. We are doing DSM, and this is our final episode. We are talking about PAS, Pregnancy Abandonment Syndrome, and it took me a while to really get around to making this video because I can see myself losing supporters from it, but I have to speak my truth. Now, do I have any kids? No, but I have been that friend that has had friends who had their partners leave them halfway through, and I can tell you I've gathered some research. So let's talk about the symptoms. So signs of PAS, pregnancy abandonment syndrome, is number one, they leave 3 months postpartum, or they leave at 5 months into the pregnancy when you start showing, or the donor already has children out of wedlock or out of relationship, and then they gaslight you into thinking that it's your idea. So I am gonna go forward. I'm gonna go forward. Before I even say this, I just want to let you guys know that, like I said, I know there's exceptions to the rule, because I know sometimes, women can get a little bit psychotic, guys can get a little psychotic, and sometimes you really do not see how a person truly is until you have a kid with them. Now, that percentage, I would say that's about 10% of the issue, but I do feel like right before, even babysitting or even working with, because it's similar to me, it's similar to having, it's like rooming into an apartment with your friend. Like, they was 30 till you moved in with them. You didn't know they had bad habits until you moved in with them, because you've been this person's friend for years, right? Just imagine you've been this person's friend for years, and then like as soon as you move in with them, it's like, oh, you're actually not a good person, because you haven't really, I do feel like the psychological part is the fact that, before I get into whose fault it is coming up, but the psychological part is the fact that you have to be called to be a parent. And as someone who has taken on, a more, leadership role with certain family members, kids, I can say that it's so much harder than you can ever imagine. I really feel like everybody should practice, but not everybody has practice kids to practice with, but you really, it's more harder than you can ever imagine. Being a parent is unthinkable. It's the happiest you ever can be. And it's also the saddest you can ever be. And it's very complicated. It's very complicated, but also simple. I truly feel like you have to be called to be a parent. Like you guys have seen in the news, left and right up, so-and-so does this with this. So-and-so goes to Puerto Rico for a week and leaves her kid to her own devices. I truly feel like you have to be called to be a parent. And I really want to hammer that in before you guys come for me, is that I truly feel like there are circumstances, but the main common motif is that you have to be called to be a parent. It's kind of like when someone has a servant's heart. Let's say, when it's my season to have a kid and start a family, let's say I find out I'm not fertile, I would still end up either fostering or auditioning, or reaching out to a boys and girls club and having a little sister for me to adopt, or a little brother for me to adopt, because I do really feel like the next generation alpha, I feel like people are kind of just putting their hands up and they're oh, they don't listen to me, iPad bye. I feel like people are not, they're not taking that time, they're not taking that patience to really truly reach out and have that connection with them. And it just hurts me to see it, because it's just these kids just need direction. That's all they knew. They're in the car, they just need direction. But what's happening is that the people who brought them with abandoned the car and was just okay, you can drive it in since you think you're grown. I don't care how grown up they talk, that's still a kid. Okay, that's still a kid. And I just want to just really hone in that to let y'all know that being a parent, Mother's Day just passed, and I can tell you, being a parent, y'all should have mothers and fathers who are active need to have their own tax reduction or something. I don't know. But then, there could be issues there. But literally being a parent, on the samples that I've had of it, just imagine you had a long day at work and you come home and somebody with your face on is saying, I know tired, tired, tired. Look, this hand appears, tired, But let's go into who's to blame. Let's start with the fellas first. So first things first, men, sorry fellas, y'all are to blame because one, y'all do be the one to abandon me. But I say number one reason is y'all have to be protective of your seed. You have to. And people always think it's like a, actual thing, but it's not, like literally just your seed. Like you need to be. And when I say you need to be protected, don't be saying, I only date baddies so I can have pretty babies. No, you have to be protective of your seed, protective of this seed of a family or family tree about to grow. Ooh, that you're about to grow. Like, you need to be protective of it. Because a lot of men just feel like, I don't know, like I said, like, I didn't realize that men's self-esteem was so low. And it makes sense because of the fact that from the day a baby girl's born, oh my gosh, she's so pretty, she's so cute, da, da, da. So people say baby boy, like, oh, he's handsome, or like they're so. I didn't realize how much we don't compliment men until I looked up synonyms. Oh, let's eat them. Yep, I looked up synonyms to say positive things about men, and all I got was smart, educated, handsome. There's nothing. Women, pretty, beautiful, cute, gorgeous, stunning, breathtaking. Like, you see how, like, even in the English language, there's not a lot of words to uplift men. And I truly feel like that's why they're not protective of their seed, because the self-esteem has not been built into them, I also have on here, men have to want to build a family. They have to want to build a family, not just have a bunch of kids. Like, listening to NBA, like, I think he's at 10 or 11, child. I think he has 10 or 11 kids, and to sit there and know that he's like, oh, I never really wanted kids. Is the abstinence in the room with us? What are you talking about? You never wanted kids. Like, was that after 4 or 5, and he's not by himself. Like, there's plenty of rappers who have multiple kids back to back, and they don't want to build a family. Like, no offense, but like, there's no way you can have a family if you have multiple kids from different people, because that's not really a sense of family. That might be a community toxicity, but you're not really wanting to build a family. Like, my vision of a family is to have like the full unit, like, hey, we're going camping this week, or oh, family vacation, like, adventures together. Like, it's just like, I want that to happen. Like, that's how I imagine a family. Like, we're together, like, we cry together, pray together, whatever, eat together, roast together, because we're gonna be roasting people. But like, that's how I imagine the family unit. Okay, like, that's not that's not it. Like, just having kids left and right, because like, that's why, like, I've always gotten irritated with the fact that people think that just because you have a kid, you have a family. You don't have a family. That's not a family. Like, stay with me now, because I lost a couple of people with that sentence. What I mean by you don't have a family, like, you don't have a family unit. You guys are family according to the U.S. government. Yes, family, household, but you don't have a unit. Okay, and that doesn't mean that has to be boyfriend, girlfriend. Like, you don't have a unit. Like, you don't have a sense of home. There's no sense of home. There's no sense of family. And these men are just out here just having kids left and right. But it also goes back to self-esteem. Like, some of them feel like they don't deserve to have a family. They don't deserve to have what they never got. And I'm here to tell the men out there, you deserve it. Okay, you deserve to have this family. You deserve to have somebody say, Dad, I care about you, or Dad, we did something for you for Father's Day. Like, you deserve this family. Because sometimes often in life, we'll have it where we will self-sabotage because we don't think we deserve things. There's plenty of times where that's happened, like, where we don't think we deserve things, so we might as well, like, because I truly feel like with NBA, I feel like after the second kid, I feel like he didn't want any kids for real. And he was just like, well, I already, some people, they sit there like, oh, well, I already sinned already, I might as well keep sinning. Like, that's not, I really feel like that's what happened. Like, you need to build a family unit. Yes, you and your kids are family. Yes, that is correct. But are you a familial unit? No. And it goes back to the self-esteem. If someone's not sitting there telling you that you deserve to have this family, you're just like, well, I came from a broken home, I might as well break these other homes. Like, that's how I truly feel like some of them feel like. And everybody sits there and says, oh, well, with there's blended families. Like, I know, but when number 10 and number 2 are both sick, who are you going to visit? When number 3 has a dance recital, who are you going to go to? With number 4, and then like a lot of these men as well, they base their attention to the kid on what relationship the mom is giving them. Okay. All right. So we're going to go to the mom. Ladies, I'm a girl's girl. Don't start with me, but we need accountability. Okay. I know a lot of people keep praying for, like I said, I'm not here to, Bible thump or anything, but the first thing I can say I personally do is like my prayer in the morning, especially when I was going through it in my 20s, like my prayer in the morning is literally, God, if this is not for me, remove it. Kind of, but I meant it wholeheartedly. And every time I do that, somebody who's not supposed to be there gets removed. Whether that's a job, a person, a partner, like a friend, like even a family member moves away or whatever. Like if this person is not for me, remove them. And you have to be gangster with it, okay? You have to truly mean it. Don't be saying, if this person is not for me, God, remove them unless they fine. Like, no, like literally, like you have to go in there. And I promise you, also meditate. Like I also believe in meditating as well. Like we need to focus on meditating, like nothing like yoga, just sitting there, like something just reflecting. Like you like go outside and just, have your phone inside, just sit there and just reflect. I don't care what you got to do. If you want to stretch, you want to sit there, play some nice music in the background, just sit there and reflect. And I promise you, it's going to be very hard for somebody to play in your face. Like for me, like ever since I started, like at least doing that, even on the ride home, like just quiet, just silence, and you let your brain actually work through like certain issues. I promise you, people ain't gonna be able to play in your face. They not, because one thing that has made that I've noticed is just that people have a very hard time lying to me. And it's nothing I did. It's not like I'm like in their face like, what'd you say? Like it's nothing like that. But people have a hard time lying to me because my intuition is very high. I can have a conversation with somebody and I know what time it is. Even with, even my supporters or haters in the comments, like that's why certain people, if you're really studying my comments, like I know some people are, you'll notice I give certain energies to certain people. Like if I know you're on here just to roast, on here to, get some type of satisfaction of making a melanated woman not feel good about herself, I'm not gonna give you anything because I can sense it. I know what you're on. I know what time you're on. You give me a sarcastic question, I give you a sarcastic answer, baby, every single time. And I really feel like intuition is very high. And like I said, like some of these men, they are Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. They will love bomb you and be like, oh my God, I can't wait to be a father. As soon as you start showing, they're gone. As soon as the baby's out 3 months, they're gone, the baby. And like it's just, but discernment, if you truly have discernment, he not gonna be able to play in your face. Not for long. Not to the point where you get pregnant. I promise you. I promise you. Number 2, I have, once again, self-esteem, saying that problem with men, like you need to marry before you carry. And everybody sits there and says, well, I don't really want to get married. I couldn't imagine, just me, like I've seen a C-section. I've had friends who were pregnant. I've seen a vaginal birth. I was 10 pounds at birth. I'm not doing that unless I'm getting your last name. I'm sorry. You got to pay up, okay? Either your last name or I'm in your last will and testament. Something needs to give, because I just couldn't imagine going through all that and you're telling me that you can't give me your last name is BS, okay? That's complete BS. Like to this day, like I still, like my heart hurts when I sit there and I see a woman and she's going through all that by herself. Like it really, I get no joy from it. Like my heart literally hurts because it's just like, you should be in your feminine. You shouldn't have to hide, like you should be in your feminine. You shouldn't have to hide. But like I said, if you weren't raised on it, if you weren't raised on it, and if someone was in your corner poking you to do that, like, like I come from, my parents been married for 40 plus years. Like I couldn't imagine being a baby mama and my mom allowing me to walk the earth. I ain't gonna lie to you, because she's just like, you see what I got, you need to have that too. That's how my mom's mindset has always been. You're doing all this for him. Absolutely not. But I just feel like there's also the factor of like, if you do it one time, it makes sense to me, because it's just like, okay, like, we're all young. Like I said, men are they're Decepticons. Like Transformers needs to cast some of these men because the Decepticon level. But that second kid, baby girl, my love, my heart, Baby girl, that second kid, that wasn't a mistake. That was a pattern. Okay, now that's not judgment, but I'm just saying, you, like I said, if you truly want to grow, accountability is all you need to know. All right. So final thoughts. These kids, I'm trying to think how to describe it. These kids, like, they really do as you do. They do not do as you say. All right. So you can't sit there and be like, oh, well, don't be twerking and stuff, and then they see you twerking. Like, even with me, if you've noticed, this is season 4 of Clear Hair. I never cursed on here. Somehow my nieces have found me on YouTube, so I make sure I don't curse on here. I make sure I keep it, I want to say kid friendly, but I do make sure I carry myself and speak a certain type of way because they're looking at me. Probably because I'm 5'10", but they're looking up to me. But no, they really are. Like, they're doing as I do. They're saying as I say. So if I come on here any type of like any type of way or whatever, like, I know I got 2 nieces looking at me. Imagine if I had kids, you know? So like, they're looking at you. And I know that sucks to be put into that role model role, because it's like, dang, like, I'm just a regular person, but you're their mother now. Vice versa with these men. You sit there and you abandon the mother of your child. Mind you, you don't have to be in a relationship, but you sit there and abandon them. You're teaching your sons, I'm going to do that too. They do as, like I said, like, they do as you say. Like, they don't do as you say, they do as they see. Kids will always do as they see. So when you sit there and you wonder why your kid is doing something, kids are mirrors. Kids are mirrors, okay? Number 2, freedom when it comes to kids is complicated, because with women, I do feel like there's more pressure placed on us. And I do feel like there's more pressure placed on us because of the fact that we can't have, like, with women, like, if they sit there and say, but you're a mom, like the whole Kiki Palmer thing started, and there were so many men agreeing in the comments saying, thank you for showing yourselves, by the way, but so many men in the comments were agreeing, saying that, oh my God, like, you know, trying to say, like, oh my God, like, this and the other. Like, so many men in the comments were agreeing, saying, oh my God, she is a mother. I was like, I know, but you abandoned your kid, you know? If there was ever a competition of them saying, oh my God, well, you know, women ain't ish to their kids, I was like, I know some women can be very deceitful, very liars. Like, some of them you just want to, you know, but you can't beat the fact that you have a kid out there. And mind you, I'm not talking because I'm bitter. I have both of my parents in my life. My dad's heavily involved in my life, look just like him. You can't sit here and tell me that a woman ain't ish, and you have somebody walking around with your genes, someone who is your kid, and you can't even pick up a phone and call them. There's nothing she can do. There's nothing she can do that will top that. And one thing, final thought, is just that before women, if you're young and you're watching this, like, one thing I can say is that do not be surprised at men's ability to erase. Like, I've seen firsthand, and it's so scary. I've seen firsthand where some men will literally erase you. Does that make any sense? Like, they'll have a kid with you when you're like 19, 20, and then he'll get in his career, turn 30, get a new wife, and get a kid, and pretend you're not there. I've seen it in real time. Men will erase you. It's very scary. But I just want you guys, like, both men and women need to hold accountable. Like I said, we're the grown-ups now. We're the millennials. We're the grown-ups now. And I really feel like we can do this. Unfortunately, it has been set on our shoulders to fix this, but I do feel like we can do this. Like, we can prepare the next generation. And think twice before you sit there and think, do I want to be a parent? Like, are you ready to sacrifice, are you ready to put a bookmark in your life and start a new book with this kid? Are you ready? If you're not ready, it's okay to wait. It's okay to, you know, foster. It's okay to practice. But I really want to just really thank everybody for watching the DSM series, you know, all 10 episodes. I was very nervous to do it because, like I said, like, sometimes, like, when you put a video out, oh my God, I edited it, no one watched it, you know, like, it's kind of scary. But I really want to thank you guys. I just really appreciate, like, the continued support. I did not know me running my mouth was what y'all wanted to do. I could run my mouth all day. But definitely, guys, I will be launching Pretty Privilege Volume 2 once I get back from you know, just some time off. Okay, once I get back from some time off, I'm definitely gonna be launching Pretty Privilege series Volume 2. I have so many topics I want to talk about. We're gonna get even deeper into the Pretty Privilege world, but don't forget to subscribe, share. It's Claire here.
I feel like I'm losing my mind.